So earlier today, I watched a film from 2023. It came out in late December. I've been doing this with a few titles that I just missed from last year, but this was just added to Shudder. So I thought this was going to be a completely different film than it was. I thought this was going to be a like liminal space looped reality. This movie's called Loop Track. And so I thought this guy was going to go out on a track. Now, I already saw a trailer for a movie like this, so it's probably what put it in my head, where someone's like hiking and they just keep going in a circle and they keep coming back to the same place. No, not Blair Witch. It's something brand new that came out, I think maybe even this year. But that's not what this is at all. We follow our main character here, and he is this like very introverted, wants to be left alone with his thoughts. He goes on this hike to try to get away from it all. And he goes out on this big long trail that's supposed to take days to hike. There's these like lodges that you can stay in on the hike. I've never done anything like this. It actually made me want to do it, which was interesting because this is like a horror thriller. And things don't go great. But while they were out there, I was like, man, I would love to just disconnect, get off my fucking phone, get off the internet, get away from everything, and just go like walk through the nice wilderness like this. Anyway, but he goes out and he just can't stay away. It's actually kind of like a dark comedy at first, because there's like people on the trail, and one guy in particular who is just, he does not take any of his cues of like, leave me the hell alone. But the guy's very meek and very quiet, and he can't stand up for himself at all. So like, no matter what he does, he cannot get away from these people on the trail, because they just keep forcing themselves on him. Like, well, let's hang out, let's do the trail together. And he's like, oh no, you don't have to. And it keeps going on like that over and over again. And it's like, anyone who had any like sense about them would be like, oh, this guy does not want me around, right? But they're completely oblivious to this shit, and it makes for it's entertaining, but it's also very uncomfortable to watch. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, essentially what happens is he starts seeing something on the trail, and these people don't believe him. You get the drift, the gist. So yeah, overall, I dug this. I'll say this: I did not expect the ending and like what this ended up being at all. Not at all. Obviously, because I came into this thinking it was going to be a totally different movie. I thought he was just going to go in like circles over and over. That had my brain in a completely different place for the first like 15, 20 minutes, because I kept thinking that was what's going to happen. That's not what happens. But what ends up being the antagonist of the film took me for a total loop. I was like, oh, okay. And I'll say this too. The visual effects on this thing are amazing. Amazing. I can't say what it is because it would give it away, but and it all looks like it's practical. Like, almost completely. I think there's some CGI enhancements and whatnot. And when we get some gore in here, we actually get some pretty good gore. Not a ton of it. And it's not super, super graphic or anything. But what we do see is actually quite good. So and I think almost everything in the film is practical. But the antagonist will surprise you. Now, some people will absolutely see that as a negative. They'll be like, what in the hell is that? Is that really supposed to be what we're accepting as the big bad of the movie? I thought it was great. It's so unique. I can't say any more about what that is, but I was really surprised, because when you watch it, you'll be like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. You will never guess what this thing is in a million years. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what that exactly is supposed to be, even though it looks like something. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm like trying to be very cautious with how I present this. But yeah, wow, the special effects, the practicals, and maybe a blending of VFX as well, like CGI. Whatever they did, it looks amazing. Super surprising. And I liked our main character. He's a very believable, guy that wants to keep to himself and is very awkward. And his it's very believable why people aren't believing him, because he seems like you wouldn't want to believe him. And there's some very awkward moments between them when some accusations are made or truths come out or whatever. So I quite liked this. This was good. I wish I would have watched this one with Kaylee, but it is what it is. I just threw it on thinking it was going to be one thing, and it ended up being something different, and I was going to stop it, but I didn't. It is what it is. But this one wouldn't be from this year anyway. Although, because it just dropped, and I think I heard of it right at the tail end of 2023. I just didn't catch it. But I think this is a really, really cool film from last year that most people probably skipped over. And I don't know if that sounds appealing to you. If you're into what I'm saying and you're totally fine with a kind of out of the blue, bizarre antagonist that has a very unique look to it and looks amazing in practicals, but it's not going to be. Oh God, I can't wait to talk to people who have seen this, so that we can discuss this antagonist, because it's interesting. I kind of love it. So that's that. Anyways, all right. Let me know if you watch it. It is currently streaming on Shudder, so check it out there. All right, guys. Bye.